All right, let's jump right into this explainer and build a rock-solid foundation on the basics of economics. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. Whether you're studying for your CBSE Class 12 exams, or you just kind of want to understand those invisible forces that shape our world, you are in the exact right place. We're going to break down some incredibly powerful concepts today, so let's not waste a single second and get right to it.
So, have you ever wondered, why can't every country just produce absolutely everything its citizens want? We're starting with this fundamental question because it establishes the inescapable reality of scarcity. It's the engine that drives literally every economic decision on the planet. From a tiny local farming village to the highest levels of global government, everyone faces the exact same brutal math. Our desires are infinite, but our resources, well, they're firmly finite.
Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll look at the core of economics, micro versus macroeconomics, the three central economic problems, opportunity cost and the PPC, positive versus normative economics, and finally, a summary with some exam questions.
Section 1. The core of economics. Let's zoom in on the root problem that gives birth to this entire field. A lot of people think economics is just the study of money, right? Stock markets, bank accounts, that kind of thing. But in reality, it's fundamentally the study of choices and survival. It's the science of human behavior in the face of absolute limits. How do we take what little we have, whether that's land, labor, time, or capital, and stretch it to satisfy as many of our seemingly unlimited wants as possible?
Let's bring this down to earth for a second. Think of a typical Indian household budget. On one side, you've got unlimited wants, maybe the desire for a new smartphone, a family vacation, upgrading some home appliances, or even just eating out at nice restaurants. But on the other side, you have a fixed monthly income. That income acts as the limited resource. That friction, where unlimited wants crash into limited resources, forces families to make some really tough choices. They have to prioritize. And that act of choosing, that is economics in its absolute purest form.
Okay, let's pause for a super quick check. What is the root cause of all economic problems? Answer it in your head? It's scarcity. If you grasp that scarcity is the ultimate engine of economics, you have successfully unlocked the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about today. Section 2. Micro versus macroeconomics. Let's check out the two different lenses economists use to analyze these choices. Think of microeconomics as your magnifying glass. It focuses on individual actors. It's studying a single farmer's crop choice, a local small business setting its prices, or that household budget we just talked about. Macroeconomics, on the other hand, is like a wide-angle lens. It looks at the massive aggregate picture, the overall economy. This is where you analyze things like national unemployment rates, the Reserve Bank of India's policies, widespread inflation, and total government spending. Basically, micro is the trees, macro is the entire forest.
Time for another quick knowledge check. Is analyzing the RBI's latest inflation policy a micro or macro concept? Well, massive nationwide policies, like those handled by the RBI to control inflation across the whole country, sit firmly in the macroeconomics column for sure.
Section 3. Three central economic problems. Because of scarcity, every society is forced to answer three inevitable questions.
These are the three pillars of economic decision-making. First up, what to produce. A country has to decide if it's going to use its limited steel and labor to manufacture farming machinery to feed its people, or maybe consumer electronics to export. Second, how to produce. This is all about technique. Do we use manual labor, providing jobs for thousands of people, or do we use heavy automation and robotics to maximize efficiency? And finally, for whom to produce. Once the goods are actually made, how are they distributed? Who gets to enjoy them? These three central problems are basically the giant puzzle every economy is constantly trying to solve.
Section 4. Opportunity cost and PPC. This is kind of the climax of our explainer. How do we actively measure the trade-offs we just discussed?
This next concept will honestly change the way you view the world. Opportunity cost is the value of the next best alternative foregone. It basically means the true cost of something isn't just the money you paid for it, it's whatever you had to give up to get it. If a farmer has a plot of land and chooses to plant wheat, the opportunity cost isn't just the seeds and fertilizer. Nope, the opportunity cost is the lucrative crop of sugarcane they could have grown on that exact same plot of land instead. Every single choice has a hidden ghost, the ghost of the choice you didn't make.
So the really cool part is that we can actually map out opportunity costs mathematically and visually. We use a model called the Production Possibilities Curve, or the PPC. Let's see exactly how this brings the whole concept of trade-offs to life.
Imagine a simplified economy that produces only two things, wheat and machinery. As you decide to increase the production of machinery, your production of wheat has to drop. It's unavoidable. You absolutely must sacrifice some wheat production to get more machinery because the resources literally have to be pulled from the fields and put into the factories. That sacrifice, that is your opportunity cost playing out in real time.
We really need to slow down here and deeply understand what the visual curve itself tells us. If an economy is operating at a point inside the curve, it means resources are being wasted. This is underutilization. Think high unemployment or idle factories. A point directly on the curve, that means maximum efficiency. We are at full employment, squeezing every drop of potential out of our resources. And what if the entire curve shifts outward? That is the holy grail. That signifies real economic growth. It means we've discovered new resources or invented better technology, literally expanding the limits of what our country can achieve.
Okay, so what does a point inside the PPC indicate? If you know this, you understand the vital concept of resource underutilization. It just means the economy isn't living up to its potential, and resources are sitting completely idle.
Section 5. Positive versus normative economics. How do economists differentiate between hard facts and personal opinions?
This distinction is absolutely crucial for critical thinking. Positive economics deals with what is. It is objective, it's testable, and it's based strictly on facts. For example, stating India's inflation rate is currently at 6% is a positive statement. You can look at the data and verify if it's true or false. Normative economics, however, deals with what ought to be. It is subjective. It involves value judgments. Saying the government should aggressively reduce inflation to help the poor is a normative statement. It is so essential to recognize when an expert is neutrally stating a verifiable fact versus when they are offering a subjective opinion on what economic policy should look like.
Section 6. Summary and exam questions. We've covered a tremendous amount of ground today, so let's lock in this knowledge with a rapid-fire revision.
Here is your ultimate cheat sheet, condensing everything you need into one powerful list. Remember, economics is the art of managing scarcity. Micro analyzes the individual, while macro looks at the nation. Scarcity births the three central problems of what, how, and for whom to produce. Opportunity cost is simply the value of your next best alternative. And finally, positive economics is about facts, while normative economics is about opinions. Now it's time to put yourself to the test. Here are 5 high-probability CBSE-style questions. Define opportunity cost. Distinguish micro from macro. List the 3 central problems. Explain a PPC outward shift, and give a positive versus normative example. I strongly encourage you to pause the explainer right now, grab a pen, and physically write out these answers. Being able to articulate these clearly will absolutely guarantee your mastery of the subject. I'll leave you with this final, provocative thought. Now that you can sort of see the matrix, now that you understand opportunity cost and the bounds of the production possibility curve, how will this alter the way you read the news, understand government budgets, or view the trajectory of a rapidly growing economy like India's? Mastering these basics doesn't just help you pass exams. It truly unlocks the secret to understanding the choices that build the world around you. Thank you so much for diving into this learning journey with me. Stay curious, keep analyzing those trade-offs, and I will see you in the next explainer.